We're a small island surrounded by water.
Jamaicans can no longer access their own beaches.
This is where they work. Say they don't have a other job. They don't have nothing else to turn to.
Tourists can pay for exclusive access to beaches at all-inclusive resorts, but everyday Jamaicans are increasingly being blocked out of them.
When you push a fisherman from a beach, where did you want him to go?
Hello everyone, I hope you're all doing fine now. There are so many beaches in Kingston and other major towns in Jamaica that have been blocked by the government for the public to access them. Now, reasons being insecurity and other tourists being robbed at gunpoint. Now, the people of Jamaica are not happy about it. So let's watch this video, then have a quick discussion at the end of it. Thank you so much.
Living in between waters and we have no access to a beach.
Some Jamaicans are organizing to take down the colonial era land laws that still affect them today.
Jamaican came into emancipation landless and homeless, and that problem have not changed in Jamaica.
And they're suing companies for cutting off their access to the beaches.
And we also will not stop until the entire Jamaican public is able to access the beach freely. Tourists get beach, rich people get beach. When all come and buy, we have to buy access to the beach. That can't continue.
This is Steertown, a historic fishing community on the north coast of Jamaica. Local residents relied on the beach for their livelihood. But in 2020, two companies bought the land containing the pathways leading to Malmö Bay Beach.
Discrimination, apartheid team, we're tired of that. That must end.
The owners built a cement wall along the property, effectively cutting off surrounding communities from the coast. Lifelong fisherman Norris Arscott lives up the hill in one of these communities. Both his father and grandfather before him worked as fishermen at the same beach that he did.
All right, that's the hotel there, and the beach is just right beside the hotel there. It doesn't take me more than like 8-10 minutes from here to the beach. Now they push me off there. You know, I had to do 10 miles each morning to do my fishing work.
To access the new fishing beach, Norris is forced to bike at 4:30 in the morning along a busy highway.
The entire St. Ann to St. Mary is blocked out from we, the fishermen. We've been paying taxes down there.
One of the companies announced a plan to build a 250-room resort on the land in front of Malmö Bay Beach. It will sit beside two all-inclusive resorts that already block access to the coastline.
Here they don't have fences. They got mountains of concrete wall. You can see that.
According to a local advocacy group's calculations, less than 1% of Jamaica's coastline is accessible to the public.
Me, personally, have no access to another beach. So we had no choice than to go where they push.
Wage.
Sometimes I catch just about 4 or 5 pounds. It depends on the weather out there, you know. 4 pounds of fish would be like for $4,000. So I go every day as long as the sea is good. What else to do? There's nothing else.
Minimum wage in the country is approximately $85 per week. In comparison, the two all-inclusive resorts that operate on Malmö Bay Beach can cost hundreds of dollars per person per night. Fisher folk like Norris often don't see the benefit.
The charity of them is no good in Jamaica.
There are approximately 74 public beaches on the island, but many of them are in disrepair, charge daily use fees, or are difficult to access without a vehicle. Damien Combs lives in Steertown, down the road from Norris. Since the beach's access was blocked, he has seen his neighbors lose their entire source of income.
So we're looking here at jet skis which have been parked, so to speak. Some of them are broken, some of them have damaged engines. They would sell rides to tourists or sell rides to locals. Jet skis put food on the table. The thing that the government will tell you, and these hotels, that they create jobs. They create jobs, but what kind of jobs? You're actually working in a hotel, which you will never ever be able to afford. You have all your independent people that did their own independent work and created their jobs that have lost those jobs. There are people that sell t-shirts, they're the fisher folk. Beach closing basically canceled all those jobs.
A grassroots organization called JBEM has started organizing communities like Damien's to fight for beach access. JBEM helps communities with advocacy, including organizing this protest and getting beach access rights cases into the courts.
You take our ancestors from Africa and encamped around here. They give us Jamaican nationality, but yes, they look like they're giving us piecemeal. Because they're going to tell us that we can't go over there. And up here, we are here to repeal a draconian law passed during the colonial era that says that we, as Jamaicans, don't have any rights of access our God-given beach or environment.
Jamaica gained independence from the UK in 1962, but many laws from colonial rule remain intact, including one called the Beach Control Act of 1956. The law states that the British Crown maintains all rights to the foreshore, and that the public has no inherent rights to access it. While the monarchy no longer governs, this law is still the primary beach access policy on the island, so legally, Jamaicans are still not guaranteed the right to access the beach. In other Caribbean countries like Barbados and Aruba, all beaches are considered public property.
And we have a slogan in Jamaica, one love. But where is the one love for the Jamaicans? By our government.
Devin Taylor is the president of JBEM, or the Jamaica Beach Birthright Environmental Movement. He started the organization in 2022 after his hometown was cut off from the shoreline.
We want the decolonization of this land. And all these colonial era laws must go. They no longer represent the ideals of the descendants of enslaved Africans.
Black Jamaicans still face systemic inequalities rooted in British colonialism. Jamaica was a center of the Caribbean slave trade. The British government granted enslaved Africans emancipation in 1838, but they didn't receive any reparations or land. Instead, it was slave owners who were provided reparations for their economic loss. Voting rights were originally tied to property ownership, and so landless Jamaicans couldn't vote until 1944. It's estimated that nearly 20% of the country's population still lives in informal settlements without land titles.
The moneyed class buy all the properties along the coastline. They're allowed to fence their property. Now we're in a crisis situation. It's what? Easily 35, 40 degrees today. My community that lives across from the road, less than 0.3 miles, cannot go to the beach. Tourists is monopolized. Comes off a plane, get into a bus, get onto a resort, never leave the resort. So money that would have spent in communities, no longer. It stays into multinational corporation that then leaves Jamaica.
The Caribbean is the most tourism-dependent region in the world. But according to the UN, approximately 80% of all tourism dollars spent in the Caribbean end up leaving the region. This has been experienced firsthand by Shanika Taylor, who sells souvenirs and food on the beach of one of these resorts at Cooper's Pen.
Yesterday, there are 26 of them in the group. Yesterday, they take them out to shop outside of the hotel. They spent over $1,000 US getting t-shirts, clothing. So they said that they did not know about us here on the beach. They don't like tell the tourists about us because the hotel person on the beach at a time, 20 minutes apiece. We're not supposed to go to the tourists where they're sitting. We have to stay at a distance. We have to call them to come to us. And sometimes they tell us like we have to go in the water to walk. Makes us feel sad sometimes because we are not going to harm the guests. We're not going to do anything that's not right. But the good thing is that they allow us to walk. So we kind of appreciate that.
We'll not stop until we get.
Now, I did watch some videos and I really want to react to this video, a very particular video, about Jamaicans not being allowed to use their own beaches. Now, the police came out and gave a report because the reason why they do not allow Jamaicans to go to some of the beaches. Now, one, they said there was insecurity cases and some of the tourists in these beaches were being attacked, some robbed at a gunpoint. Now, for these reasons, they saw it good now to restrict Jamaicans from using these specific beaches, which are very important to the economy of Jamaica. Now, let me now say this. Now, we have some measures that have to be put in place for Jamaicans to access their own beaches. So you can't go on blocking Jamaicans to access their own beaches in Kingston and other major towns in Jamaica just because of insecurity. Now, if insecurity is the case, why don't you deploy so many security officers now to guard those people in the beaches? Now, the work of the government is to protect its citizens and anyone in that country who is legitimately allowed to be there. Now, I'm talking about the tourists who come to Jamaica. Now, the tourists who come to Jamaica have posed a question to the government of Jamaica about the insecurity cases being witnessed. Now, some people were found in the resorts dead. A tourist was found murdered in cold blood. Now, this made the government to take very strict measures to these beaches. Now, I'm here talking about the tourists who go to Jamaica. Now, what can lead to such thing happening? Now, if you go to a country and you're trying to show off how much you have, the money that you have, and it's like you are boasting to the people of Jamaica. Now, the people of Jamaica are good, but some other people do not have good intentions. So automatically they will come after that money. They will come after your life and take everything that you have. So my advice to the tourists who have raised an alarm to the government of Jamaica to block Jamaicans from accessing their own beaches now is, please, first, take a very major precaution about how you spend and how you go around showing off the money that you have. Now, it's not all the people are in one class. I mean, some people have problems even having a single meal in a day. So what happens when you try to show off how much you have and they can't get it directly from you when they beg it from you? Now they'll come and take it by force. So first place, try not to show off. Jamaica is a very good place with good people, but I will not love to see Jamaicans blocked from accessing their beaches because of tourists who come to that country. Now, this is their country. They should be allowed to go anywhere, believe me, not anywhere. Now, talking about, I heard that some of the beaches were being sold to Chinese investors and some investors from the UK. Now, for this case, these investors have put on measures that see not common people accessing these beaches because they are meant for those big tourists from big countries. Now, no, it's not good for the government to do so. The beaches belong to the public. These are public resources, and for the public resources, they should be used for the public people. Now, the public, the people, the citizens of Jamaica should be allowed to use them at any time. Maybe when there is absolute insecurity, maybe at that time. But I think this is not good. So let me know whatever you think of this video, please, guys, in the comment section.